All right, We Need to Talk About Kevin is directed by Lynne Ramsay, who is kind of an up-and-coming director. Has done a lot of art movies in the past, some Criterion stuff early on in her career. And she's adapting this pretty popular novel that's kind of moving around right now. And basically what it's about is Tilda Swinton is playing this woman named Ava Cachadorian, I think is the last name.
It's a fun one.
And her husband is played by John C. Reilly, named Franklin. And together they have a child. They have their first child, and there's just something wrong with this kid. Even from birth, it never seems to warm up to the Tilda Swinton character, and seems to be doing everything in his power to be antagonizing towards her. It kind of played almost like Asperger's syndrome or something like that, where he just has absolutely no love for her at all, and like is very, very smart. Like he can do his entire alphabet. He can count up to 100, but he chooses not to learn how to use the bathroom because he knows that it bugs her. And that's just the beginning of the movie. The movie is kind of shot out of sequence. It's done sort of in that non-linear fashion where we know something bad has happened to her and something bad is going to happen in the story. And then as it's taking place in present time, it goes back in time and sort of chronicling her life raising this child and how this child is manipulating the parents and kind of playing one parent against the other. And how his behavior is getting increasingly more disturbing and more violent as he gets older. And I have to say, I mean, I kind of knew what this was about going in. I'd seen trailers a long time ago. I'd heard reviews a long time ago, back when this came out late in 2011. This movie freaked me out in a weird way. And a lot of it has to do with the direction by Lynne Ramsay, who I think is a terrific director here. She does specific things to antagonize the audience. She focuses a lot on eating and chewing and kind of this, a lot of, the film opens with Tilda Swinton sort of sloshing around in tomato paste for some reason. There's this color red motif that runs all throughout the movie. It's just very carefully, very interestingly directed, but directed in such a way that it's going to just creep you out. I don't really even know how to describe how this movie made me feel, other than when I was done, I felt thoroughly disturbed by the entire thing. And I think, she's the type of director who makes a lot of large, broad brushstrokes in her stylistic choices, and sometimes they're a little too broad. I think some of the performances by the child, Kevin, could be a little like, okay, this is just The Omen. But it's directed so well, and Tilda is so good in this movie that as it goes, it's even those parts of the pot that boils over still is mitigated by the fact that it's just a really affecting movie. I give it an A-. I think it's something of a horror movie masterpiece as of right now.
Well, I enjoyed it just as much as you did. You know how I like my creepy.
Yeah.
So I gave it an A. I loved Tilda Swinton in it. I thought she did really well. The red was actually my least favorite part. The use of red, I was just like, okay, we get it. Red is blood. Boo. Okay, whatever. We've seen that. But for the rest of it, yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we've seen messed up children movies.
Yeah.
But this one was
pedophilia or pedophobia movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this one does pretty well. I liked how it was jumping between. This is her coping with whatever horrible thing's going to happen, and all the citizens, everybody hates her, and her life is just terrible.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and go, why are you still in this town? Later on, you even ask the question even harder. You're like, why are you still in this town?
Yeah.
But it's like one of those, it's just great how creepy this kid is. I mean, it's just, he knows how to play. When you mentioned the plays, John C. Reilly character has no clue this kid's creepy. I mean, he's like the perfect son to the John C. Reilly character, and so it just makes Tilda Swinton look even crazier.
Yeah.
So you can't even put him in therapy because there's no reason to and stuff. And, I really did like there was a lot of great scenes where it's just they're talking about an eyeball and he starts eating this weird fruit thing and it's just like gushing and it just looks like it just but I have to admit I think the for such a creepy movie, there's a really weird lack of violence, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like there's a lot of violence being hinted at.
Yeah, it's mostly implied.
It is really well at implying it, and you're just waiting for some horrible violence to happen. And when there's moments of violence, it's kind of, it's weird. It's like this, they put him in this weird alone world, and you're like, wait.
Yeah. It's more of a tonal kind of piece than full-on exploitation horror, which I think is what I liked about it. It reminded me a lot of what came out earlier, Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, which had a similar kind of vibe and approached genre in a similar way.
But basically, I saw John C. Reilly and went, I'm going to love this movie. It's what happens. Mm-hmm. Me and John C.
Mm-hmm. Who can still balance those comedy and drama really, really well.
The guy who can do Step Brothers, and then you're like, okay, your career's over. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, never mind. I thought the Ezra Miller, was it?
Ezra Miller, as teenage Kevin.
Yeah, as teenage Kevin. I thought
really good.
Did really well. He even had the great little emo quip of hair, and I'm like, oh, I was like, what? But when you look at it, he's like always wearing these really small shirts, and you're just like,
you were like 3 sizes too small.
You were way too trendy and emo to be messed up. I don't know. I was waiting for it to just be some weird magical play, because the kid was just, I was like, you're like an anime character pretending to be violent, you know? I was a little taken aback on his costuming, I guess is what it is.
Yeah. I think the performance is there, though.
But he still did
especially
great.
The exchanges between him and Tilda.
Oh, yeah.
They have this weird Oedipal thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think the ending paid off, too. I mean, everything, it came out, came away from the movie thinking, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Definitely A-worthy.
It's still stuck on me, this movie, and I saw it like 4 days ago.
Nice.